Hey, hey, are we live? Happy 2018. Are you ready to meal prep? I am ready to prep. I have missed meal prep. Let me tell you, I wasn't here last Monday, because it was Christmas. But man, did I miss it. I ended up not having to cook all week, which was great because I had enough freezer meals in the freezer all week. So really the only day I had to cook last week was Christmas dinner. And it was awesome. It was awesome because I had so much extra time to spend with my family, hang around the tree, eat a lot of cookies, clean up a lot of wrapping paper. But anyway, come on in. I'm just going to double check and make sure we're live. Here we go. Are we live? If you're here, say hello so I know you're here. I want to see you. Is everyone still with me after the Christmas break? We missed last week. Okay, I think we're live. We good? Hello. Are we here? Oh, Michelle's here. Hey, Michelle. And Pat's here. Hey, awesome. You guys are ready. Did you prep last week? Did you prep on Christmas? I took the day off, right? So let me turn this volume down. I don't know why the volume's up. All right. I missed last week. So it was Christmas. But I was just saying I didn't have to cook at all last week except for Christmas, which was wonderful because I have a freezer full of meals stocked to go. So that was really, really nice, and it's one of the awesome benefits of meal prepping. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Sarah from Sugar Bananas, and every Monday I'm here in the afternoon to meal prep with you for the whole week, and I make 5 meals in about an hour, and they're typically plant-based and vegetarian meals. But if you're not vegetarian, that's fine. I have tons and tons of meal prep tips that will work for any kind of meal you're making. And if you have a meal that you want to make ahead and you're not sure how to do it, just ask me and I'll give you some ideas. So, all right, Michelle's ready to prep? Not a chance. You did not prep last on Christmas. You didn't. I don't blame you. I wasn't either. I was like, I'm just going to stay in my pajamas. I'm going to eat a lot of cookies, which I did. But I'm all ready now. I'm all ready. And guess what? Mama got a new light kit. Can you see all this beautiful light? I don't have as many raccoon eyes going on now. So you can see me better, right? So that was one of my Christmas gifts I was really excited to get. And then the other one, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of hiding back in there, is my new mixer. I'm excited. I haven't used it yet. It's almost like it's too pristine to even put anything in it yet. I just want to leave it there and let it be beautiful. So, okay. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started. I have a 7-step process that will have you set to go for the entire week, whether you have a busy schedule with kids or other activities or things going on, or if you just want more time in the evenings and you don't want to be stressed about dinner time, you're going to want a meal prep. And this will definitely help. So go ahead and share this to your wall so you can come back and watch it later. I'm about to share a bunch of tips. I'm going to show you like everything I know. And if you want, you can go to sugarbananas.com, and at the top of the website there is a meal prep 101. So it's going to be everything I'm going to go over today, but in more detail. All right, so let's get started. Step 1, you're going to want a meal plan. You got to do the plan before you can do the prep, right? So what I do is I just have a weekly plan, and you can write it out. You don't even need to be all fancy, but I just write it out, and I do 5 meals down here for dinner, and then I plug them into our lunches 2 days later, so I'll make double the amount. And sometimes I will triple or quadruple these meals, and I'll pop them in the freezer for another time, for another dinner. And you will see over here, I've got 2 empty spaces. And you think, oh, you're only cooking 5, or you're only having homemade meals 5 nights a week. Nope, not the case all the time. On those 2 other nights, that leaves space for like if we are going to go out to dinner, or if I'm just going to grab one of those extra freezer meals to make life easier. And then these are the lunches over here that kind of correspond with those. So it makes life so much easier. Okay, so I've got my meal plan. That's step one. Then step two is you're going to want to shop. And go into the store with your detailed list of everything you're going to need. I put everything, all my recipes on cards, and I just go and I make a shopping list according to my cards, and it makes shopping a lot easier. And what's great about this meal prepping is you can see how much you're going to need of things ahead of time. And then if you're going to go to like Costco or BJ's, you can really stock up because you already know what you're going to need. So this week we're doing week 2 of 5. And I know I say this every week, but this one's my favorite week. I do this because I have all of our favorites spread out over 5 weeks. And then by the time, so we don't get bored of them. And then by the time we come back to this week, or whatever given week, I'm ready for it again. I'm excited for it. So I'm excited for it. So this week, we're gonna make some coconut curry with some veggies. Awesome. And some rice. I'm gonna make some tortilla soup, some stuffed peppers with some really kick-butt toppings. Yum. I'm gonna make some lentil stew, which surprisingly ended up being one of my family's favorite meals, like lentil stew. Who knew, right? And I have some homemade bread I'm gonna make with that, just my 5-minute bread recipe. And I have some extra left over from last week, so I'm not gonna make it this week. But if you want the recipe, it's right there on my website, the 5-minute bread. You don't even have to knead it, it's so simple. And then finally we're gonna have a nacho night. So again, these are all vegetarian meals, and you can make them non-vegetarian if you like. They're easy to adjust in that way. And if you're wondering how I make nachos vegetarian, I'll tell you in a minute. It's really, really, really good. My family loves it, surprisingly. They weren't really super excited when I switched over to a lot more of the plant-based meals, but I found some really awesome recipes that they're loving. All right, so you're gonna meal plan, you're gonna shop, then next you're going to clean. I know it's not the most fun part, but you really don't wanna do the meal prep in a mess. So you're gonna want your counters cleared off, you're gonna need space because you're gonna have a ton of meals you're gonna stack up. You're gonna want an empty sink, you're gonna wanna make some space in your fridge and your freezer. Since I'm doing vegetarian meals, once I prep the meals in the bags, I pop them in the fridge. I don't even put them in the freezer. I don't have to worry about them defrosting. I just grab them throughout the week as I need a meal, and we're good to go. So I need to make plenty of space in my refrigerator. Then also, like I said, sometimes I will make quadruple the amount, and I'll have tons and tons of extra. So what I'll do is I'll freeze those. So I do need some extra room in the freezer too. All right, so we've meal planned, we've shopped, we've got a nice clean space, and now we're gonna gather. And what I like to do when I gather everything I need, I will take sections. I'll make sections. So in this section, you can't see right here, I have my oils and my spices. Then here I have my cans. I wish I could show you. Maybe I can like tilt down a little bit, maybe? I don't know, it's kind of hard. So I have my cans and some of my ingredients here. Then in this section here, I have my containers where I'm gonna put some things. And then my bags. Of course you need your bags. You're gonna need a Sharpie. You're gonna wanna label everything you're putting in the bags and the date, that's really important. And you're gonna wanna Sharpie and label everything before you put it in the bag. It's not very fun to try to do afterwards. And finally, I have over here, in this section, this is all of the veggies that I've already prepped. So make a space for what I call my grocery shopping. So I grocery shop from here as I'm assembling the meals. Great, okay, so we've gathered, we've got it all together, and now it's time to finally start. This is the fun part, I promise, this is the fun part. So the very first thing I make are the grains. I'll start with the grains. I'll check over all my recipes here and I'll say how much rice, how much pasta, how much bread am I making. So like I said, this week I'm gonna have some homemade bread. I've already got that made in the fridge. It can hang out in the fridge for like 2 weeks, but it doesn't last that long because it's so delicious. We make it all the time. So anyway, the bread's already done, but if I were making the bread, I would start with that first. Also this week I'm gonna need some rice for the coconut curry and for the stuffed peppers. So I've already got that in the Instant Pot, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start that while we're talking here. We got rice. So simple, right? Did anybody get an Instant Pot for Christmas? I love my Instant Pot. I don't even know what I did before it. Here it goes. It's like, all right, I'm gonna make you some rice. There we go. Okay, so we've got our grains started, and then after you start your grains, now, and usually I'm making a big pot of pasta, but I don't need pasta this week, surprisingly. After you get your grains started, you're gonna go chop crazy. And if you are making a non-vegetarian meal, definitely make sure you start with all of your herbs and your veggies first. You don't want to cross-contaminate there. That's no fun, just in case you need to keep things separate. So I've already chopped everything. We're already ready to go. We're already processed. And then the really fun part is the assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of these together, and I'll show you some of my favorite things. This is some of my favorite things. Right here. Do you know what this is? Hearts if you know what this is. If you've watched me before, you know what these are. And I have more than 2. I have 3. But I typically only use 2. So if you're going to order these, you may, if you're just going to use them for just simple meal prep, you may just want 2. But sometimes I get a little bit crazy with my meal prep, and I need 3. So if you know what this is, tell me. Tell me. Extra brownie points if you know what it is. All right. So, like I said, you're going to have your bags all ready to go. I've got them all in order because I want to show you nice and quickly how to do this. I've got everything prepped. I've got all my cans opened. You can't see it here, but I have all of the lids off of all of my spices, my oil and herbs and all those kinds of things. It's so much more convenient if you get the lids off of everything. That way you're not stopping in the middle, you know, to open things. The other thing too is you're going to want to rinse all of your lentils, your beans, have them all rinsed so that when you come down to assembly time, it all just kind of comes together really quickly. All right, so let's start with the coconut curry. This one is so good. And I used to, a long time ago, I used to think, ew, someone would put coconut milk in their food, like in their dinner, in a savory, ugh. And then I tried it. It's amazing. It's like an awesome comfort food. When I eat it, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and need seconds of that. And because I put so many veggies in it, I'm like, okay, it's kind of healthy, right? Okay, so I'm gonna make 2 of these because I'm gonna make 1 bag, which is gonna be for our lunch and for our dinner. And remember, I'm gonna add some rice to this too. And I'm not gonna add the coconut milk now. I'll add that when I cook it. And then the other bag is gonna be, this is the second bag. Here's my first bag. The first bag is gonna be, the first bag is for our lunch and our dinner this week. The second bag is gonna be for just another time that we're gonna need it, maybe for like a weekend lunch or something, or just another dinner to just have available if we need it in the freezer. And it's like, why not? If you're already going through the trouble of washing your veggies, chopping your veggies, getting everything else all prepped, pulling out all your spices, dirtying dishes, just make a whole bunch of it at once and you're set, right? Okay. Hey, Dina Ray, thank you for coming in. You need to know what that is. These are my bag holders. I love them. And I've been meal prepping for like what feels like a zillion years. And I just found them a little while ago and I love them. They're awesome. They have saved me so much mess. Before, when I would try to fill my bags, I would literally take my blender and I would put like some napkins or paper towel on the bottom to protect the blade, protect the bag from the blade. And then I'd open the bag over the blender and then pour it in. What a hassle. This is so much easier. So if you watched me here, I just popped them in and they hook onto the little clips there and you can adjust them for any size you need. So if they're fully extended, they're for the gallon size bags. So let's get started. Coconut curry. We're going to start out with some oil, like Paula Deen says, some oil. I'm just going to put about a tablespoon or 2 in there. Kind of get oil heavy sometimes. And then let me see. I organized this to be easy to show you. Let's see, we'll do about a cup of onion in each bag. And like I said, definitely share this to your wall so you can come back and see. I'm also going to throw some carrots in there too. So you can come back and see all these tips if you don't have time right now and you want to come back and see how to meal prep. Also, if in 2018 your goals are to be more organized and have more time, this is one of those ways. This has been one of the best time savers I've ever implemented into my life, and it all started out of necessity when my kids were really little, when they were babies, and we got, how many of you know what I'm talking about? You get the meal train when your baby's born, and if your friends are organized enough to put together a meal train, you'll get a couple meals for like about a week or two. And you're good to go for about a week or two, and you're snuggled up on your brand new infant. And then after like 2 weeks, when the meals run out, you're like, oh, I guess I kind of have to make food now. So, I don't know, I just wanted more time with my babies. I'm going to throw some garlic in here too. I wanted more time with my babies. I wanted less stress in the afternoons, like when my husband would come home from work and it was like everybody's hungry, everybody's exhausted, and who wants to start making a meal, right? So this has been really convenient. And before, I'm just going crazy with the garlic, by the way. We love garlic. Before the Instant Pot, a lot of times I would just put this in the crock pot or the slow cooker. And that's one of the other nice things about the Instant Pot is it's also, I don't know if you can see, it's also has a slow cooker function as well. Okay, so we've got some garlic, and I'm going to throw in some ginger. I love ginger. I know, like, sometimes though it can be a little bit too much for some people. It can kind of give it like a little bit of a heat almost. But our family, we love ginger. We love that flavor. So I'm going to just pop in a whole bunch of ginger in here. Let's see. And I love when it starts cooking. Oh, the whole kitchen smells so good. That garlic and ginger going on. All right, then I'm going to add, I added about a cup of carrot in here. And then, because I ran out of room on my island here, I've got some broccoli. I'm going to pop some broccoli in here. I don't know, about a cup. It depends on your family, what they like. You could also put some, at our grocery store, they have this awesomely delicious frozen grilled veggies. And I've done that before with the curry. It's so good. The grilled veggies in there add such an awesome flavor. Okay, but the broccoli is just as good. Then I'm gonna add some curry. I'll grab some curry in here. And I just kind of eyeball it. Let's see, we'll do about 2 tablespoons of curry. Again, makes your kitchen smell amazing. All right, let's see. That's a lot of curry. Curry's so good for you too. All right, and let's do a couple shakes of some cayenne. We love cayenne. Ooh, that's a lot. There we go. My family loves the spicy stuff, so I'm good. We're good. So this is ready to go. When it comes time to make this for dinner, I'm going to saute these veggies because I already have the oil in there. I'm going to saute them in the Instant Pot because it has a saute feature. Then I'm going to add some veggie stock and some coconut milk, and I'm just going to keep it on low because I don't want to overcook that broccoli too much. And I'm going to add some snow peas, yum, and some tomatoes just at the last second, just because they cook very quickly and easily. And if you want, you can also add in some salt and pepper. But typically that vegetable stock is already nice and salty, so you're good. So we've got the beginnings of some really awesome coconut curry. And my kitchen already smells awesome because I've got curry all over the place. So I'm going to start piling them up. And you can see, mix it all up here. You'll see as I go along how quickly you can get a lot of meals prepped really easily. All right, next, let's move on. This is one of my favorites. And this started out as a meat meal, a meal with meat. And once I started switching over to some more plant-based meals, I thought, how can I adjust our favorite meals to be more plant-based? And this is one of the first ones I started switching over. This used to be, I used to make this like, oh my gosh, every like other week. This used to be our chicken tortilla soup, and I've switched it over to, oh, and I forgot one thing. I'm gonna grab it. I switched it over to be plant-based. Still delicious. We still love it. And we still love our tortillas that we get to crunch in there, and our cheese that we get to melt on top. So we don't even miss the chicken that we used to put in there. So each one of these bags, this is kind of fun to make. Each one of these bags is going to get about a tablespoon of oil. Then I found this really awesome stuff right here. It's called Better Than Bouillon. No, it's flipped. Can you see? And this is some veggie base. It's really, really thick. It's like molasses almost. And about, it says like 1 teaspoon is for like 1 cup of water, but I like to take it back a notch because for some reason it's super salty to me. So I'll just take it back a notch, and I will do maybe just like a tablespoon, because I'm going to add quite a bit of water to make this into like a stew. There we go. And it says this little tiny container will make 9.5 quarts of broth, which is great. So convenient when you're meal prepping, because you can cram more stuff in the bag and then add the water later when you're going to cook. So then, this looks so ugly, I know. This is the secret ingredient. It just came out of the freezer, so it's got some water dripping off the outside. But this is, anybody know? This is my chipotle peppers. These are almost like, I treat these almost like a bay leaf. So they are chipotle peppers that are hanging out in some adobo sauce. And I'm just going to squeeze like 1 or 2 of them in there. And if you don't like things super spicy, you can pull it out right before you serve. Or if you're like us, I just kind of like mash it in. But it took some time to get used to it because it is super spicy. But again, if you don't like the spice, all that extra spice, you can just pull it out, and then it'll just add just a little tiny bit of heat, but tons of really awesome flavor. So it comes in a small can with a bunch of them. And what I do is I'll use up, the 1 or 2 as I meal prep, and then I'll freeze the rest in these little bags, let them defrost, and then use them again for my next meal prep. So convenient. All right, then the next part, let's see. Next thing I'm gonna add are some beans. These are kind of drippy. I just drained these, so they're kind of drippy. These are black beans. And I'm going to add about, whoops, I'm throwing them all over the place. I'm going to add about like maybe a can worth of beans here. Some black beans. And you could do any beans you like, really. I just happen to have black beans in my pantry, so that's what we're going to use. But I've used pinto, kidney, they all work. Alrighty. I'm going to grab the corn real quick. I can't believe I forgot my corn. I need the corn. I'm still here. And here it is. I'm still here. I got my frozen corn. Okay. Sorry about that. See, this is why it's nice to have everything all together and organized, so that you're not having to run and find ingredients in the middle of prepping. All right, so we'll do about a cup of corn in here. And I love to buy, this is another awesome thing about meal prepping, is I buy a huge bag of frozen organic corn from our grocery store. And then I just use it. I dropped one in the pepper. I just use it as I need it as I meal prep along, and it saves money to buy in bulk. So once I'm done, I'm going to throw this back in my freezer. Let's see, along with my broccoli. Okay, so we've got some oil in there. We've got some veggie stock, chipotle with the adobo sauce. I've got some corn, some beans, and one more thing, and then we get to the fun part. I'm going to take about half of one of the large 28 ounce cans of the tomatoes, diced tomatoes, and I'm just going to tilt here and do about half in there and the other half in here. That works. And then over in my blender, you'll see, I pushed that down. There we go. Over my blender, you'll see it's kind of green. In my blender, I have a bunch of fresh cilantro, some garlic, some more tomatoes, some onion. I'm just going to give it a quick whirl. There we go. It's already been mixed. It's already been mixed. But, oh, this smells so good. The garlic in there, yum! And the cilantro, I love it. I know some people don't like cilantro, but I'm a cilantro lover. All right, here's my other towel. So you're just gonna pour all this Flavor City down in here. I know it looks ugly. It's delicious. So about half and half. And then when it comes time to cook, you're gonna add the rest of the water to make the rest, excuse me, the rest of the broth. And then I just put mine in the Instant Pot. You can put it on the stove in a large pot. I'm gonna try and get most of the air out. You don't wanna get all of the air out because you wanna give that liquid in there some room to expand when it freezes. Excuse me. Woo. This is why we have water. Or tea. Yikes. Alright, so you want to give it some room to expand. And then, when it cooks, it's going to make your kitchen smell amazing. And then you're going to, see all that awesome goodness in there? Yum. You're going to serve it with some crunched up tortilla chips on top, some cheese, some cheddar cheese that melts down in there. And if you like, you can do some green onions or some red onion. So delicious. And maybe some fresh cilantro if you like. So that's our tortilla soup. And I like to freeze them flat. So I'll do a flash freeze. Whoops. I'll I'll freeze it flat. And then, after it's frozen, then I stand it up into a bin that I have in my freezer. It's just a bin that I bought from the kitchen section in Walmart. And it's like the dish bin, you know? And I'll stand them up in there, and they're all stood up, almost like my little library of frozen meals. It makes it so convenient when you're going to grab a dinner, and you can just kind of like flip through and say, which one do I want tonight? So nice. My daughter is awesome, and she likes to help me with this sometimes, and it was her first time freezing these things for me, and I asked her to put some things in the freezer, and she didn't know that I needed them flat, so she put them in standing up like this, you know, and they all kind of like got bottom heavy, and it made it really hard to finagle it around the freezer. So she's awesome. She knows now that we like to do it flat. I don't know why I got a bean in there. I got a bean in my pepper bag. Okay, so next, if you see over here, we've already got 4 meals going, and we've only been here for a couple minutes. So next, stuffed peppers. We love the stuffed peppers because We top them with tons and tons of cheese and some walnuts for some crunch. I've got 2 fistfuls here of some matchstick carrots and some onions. Just gonna put them down in. And you do not have to be exact with this. I have about a cup of carrots, about 2 onions worth there. And I'm gonna mix this with the rice that's cooking right now. And we're also gonna add, you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, we're gonna do this. I just had a thought. We're gonna add some mushrooms. So what's gonna happen is when it comes time to cook this, I'm going to saute everything that's in this bag. Then I'm gonna add the rice. I'm gonna mix it all together, and then I will stuff my pepper halves here, pop them under the broiler for a little while just to kind of heat them up because the filling's already cooked. Heat them up and then add some cheese. You could do feta, you could do, I know Dina Ray likes feta. She says everything's better with feta. You could do, I like some Parmesan. I like feta. I like goat cheese on top. Whatever you like, whatever your family likes. All right, so I've got some mushrooms going on in there, some carrots, some onion. Let's see what else we're gonna add. Of course we have to add some garlic. Gotta do garlic for everything. Pops a bunch of garlic. And my favorite, of course, is fresh garlic. And days like today when I'm just trying to get a whole bunch of meals done all at once, I'll just grab the garlic that's already ready to use. Let's see. And let's do some tomatoes in there, some diced tomatoes. So I'll just do one of the 14-ounce cans in each bag. And let's see what else we've got. It's so convenient to put all the ingredients in my bag. We're gonna add some oil and we'll add some more of that veggie stock. Give it some good flavor. Have you ever tried this, the Better Than Bouillon stuff? It's really good. All right, so my rice is done. Do you hear it beeping at me in the background? It's like, hello, I'm done. I've been working hard for you. My Instant Pot does work very hard for me. I use it almost every single day. And as much as it takes up, you know, the room on my counter and I just want to like put it away because I like a nice clean counter space, it's so convenient. So it just stays out. I use it all the time. Okay, so we're good. We are good for the stuffed peppers. I'm just gonna seal this off. I'm gonna use one for dinner this week. This will also, like I said, mix with the rice, and it will also turn into lunch the next day. Somehow, I've managed to have my kids eat stuffed peppers in their lunch. So I'll pop that in their lunch the next day, and then I've got another one ready to go in the freezer for another meal, for another week, another time. So here we go. We've got 2 more meals ready to go. We are piling up. And then add the rice to that too. So we're on a roll. Almost done here. I'm going to put, let's see, let's put 4 peppers in here that are half. So here's 1, here's 2. How pretty is this pepper? I love that. Here's 3 and 4. So that will be for one of our dinners this week. And I'm also going to have a salad with that too, so that'll be nice. Nice and filling. All right, pile it up. And let me see, let me grab my other bag here. If I don't knock anything over. Can't grab it. I got lights in the way. Hold on. Let me grab my bag. I'm here. I'm coming back. All right. Here we go. Let's add our other peppers. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's the other half of that really pretty pepper. Love that. Okay. There we go. Another meal done. Let's go on to lentil stew. I usually make 2 or 3 bags of this, right? And, you guys are talking to me and I miss it. Sorry about that. Oh, no problem, Michelle. You're probably already gone. Sorry. Thank you, though, for staying, and I appreciate when you come back. Hey, Denise. I'm telling you, man, those chipotle peppers, they're magical. My friend taught me about them when we lived in Texas. And I was like, ooh, this sounds really obscure. I'm going to go buy a random ingredient that I've never used before, and I don't know if it's going to taste good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It had such an awesome flavor. I'm telling you, if you're on the fence about trying a chipotle pepper with the adobo sauce, go try it. You will love it. So good. So I usually make 2 bags or even 3 bags of our lentil stew. We love this stuff, especially because we put lemon juice in at the end. And oh my gosh, it's so good. But because my freezer is getting a little bit crazy right now with a lot of extra food going on, even though we used up a whole bunch of it last week during Christmas break, I'm just gonna make 1 bag this time. I know, it's crazy. I wish I could make 2, but I'm gonna do 1 bag. Hey Jen, thank you for coming in. Jen was actually at my house a couple days ago and she saw my light kit. Do you see how it's working? I don't have raccoon eyes anymore, or at least as much, right? You can see me better. And she was like, what is all that going on in your dining room? You've got these umbrellas with lights. So anyway, it's kind of funny. Denise, I use the chipotle peppers in my flank steak marinade. Oh, that sounds good too. Yum, 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 yum. And do you take the peppers out, or do you just mash them up and add them in and make sauce? Because I know, like in the beginning when we first started eating them, we were like, whoa, that's a lot of heat. So we just kind of backed off and we would take it out, kind of like, we treat it like a bay leaf. But anyway, now we just love them and we just mash them up and make our broth extra spicy. So this is our lentil stew. I'm gonna add, this is so beautiful, isn't it? I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of stock. I don't know, there's maybe a teaspoon that fell in there. There we go. I'm gonna add, let's do some oil, about a tablespoon of oil in there. And then I'm gonna do about a cup of onion, a cup of carrots, and a cup of celery. I'm just gonna grocery shop here from my huge platter that I've already chopped. And again, I hate to chop carrots. I hate chopping carrots. So in this stew, I just use some baby carrots, like this. And if you put them through the Instant Pot and you pressure cook, they come out perfectly soft and delicious and really good in your stew. But if you don't have an Instant Pot and you don't have time and you still don't want to cut up the carrots, you can use the matchstick carrots, the ones that are cut like this. I have this weird aversion to cutting carrots for some reason. I'm like, I do not have time to sit here and chase little carrots around a cutting board. It's not going to happen. Okay, so we're almost there. We've got lots of onion, celery, and carrots going on in here. All right, let's add, of course, some garlic. Let's do 1, 2, some really humongous teaspoonfuls of garlic. Because, come on, it's garlic, right? You can never have too much garlic. All right, here comes the fun part. All my spices. So like I said, you're gonna want to have all of your spices already open. And I do not really measure, I just kind of, I go, oh, that looks like a good amount of oregano. If you are measuring, about a tablespoon. Some basil. Ooh, I love some basil. Yum. It smells so good. It smells like pizza. Okay, so oregano and basil, and then I'm going to add a bay leaf, like I was talking about earlier. So add 1 bay leaf in there, and you want to take that out before you eat. Don't want to eat your bay leaf. And what else? Let's see, we're almost done. bay leaf basil. Let's do one of the large cans of tomatoes. And our grocery store did not have any more of the diced tomatoes, so my daughter just grabbed the crushed tomatoes with the basil, which is perfectly fine for this. So I'm just going to pour it in. There we go. And our lentils. And I was surprised. I was not sure how my family was going to go for this. When I first was like, guess what, guys? We are going to have some lentil stew. And they're like, okay. But they loved it. It worked out great. So I've got about two cups in there. I just use like one of the packages, which is about 2 cups, maybe a little more. No big deal. So I've got about 2 cups in there. Then let's kind of give it some room because I want to add as much spinach, some fresh spinach that will fit in there. I'll just kind of fill it up to the top with some spinach, and this will wilt down into like nothingness when you cook it. There you go. And that's the beauty of the Instant Pot, is it's going to make it so soft and tender that even like your pickiest eaters will just be like, oh, this is just good soup, right? They're not going to try and pick out the spinach. Okay, we're good. I think that's about as much as going to fit in there. And then I'll just use the rest of the spinach for salads and stuff this week. So, or I can put it in with some egg omelet, some spinach too. That's really good. There we go. And I'm kind of sad that I'm not making 2 of these because these are delicious. So when I go to cook this, let me move my spinach out of the way. When I go to cook this, I'm going to dump this entire thing into the Instant Pot. And I know that it is Instant Pot. I know that. And I know that when I say it, it sounds like I'm saying Insta Pot. I know it's Instant Pot. Some people have corrected me. And I'm like, look, I know it. I'm aware. Okay. Oh, you take them out, Denise. You take them out. Okay. In time, you might start loving them. To mash them up and make like a sauce with them. So good. Okay. When I go to make this, I'm going to put this whole scene in the there's a T on the end, Instant Pot. Then I'm going to add the rest of the water to mix in with that hunk of veggie stock that I put in there. Then once it's done cooking in the Instant Pot, and I go to serve, I'm going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice on top. It's amazing. Oops, my bag here got some spinach stuck in there. There we go. Okay. And let me get some more air out of there because that's a lot of air going on. Okay. There we go. This thing is huge. So like I said, the spinach is going to cook down. Look at all that goodness in there. Yum! And then also, another good thing to put on top is some Parmesan. Right when it comes out. Parmesan, lemon juice, delicious. All right, guys, check this out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 meals going on. And then I'm gonna make nacho night. Nacho night. My family loves nacho night. I like to make it on like a Friday night because it's kind of fun and they get to actually eat in the living room. One night a week. Then maybe we'll put on a movie or something or just have fun. So sometimes we'll do pizza night, but this Friday is going to be nacho night. So what I'll do is I'll take just a large tray for the oven. I'll put some tortilla chips on the tray. Then in my, I don't think I have it up here, in my cast iron skillet, I will use the Beyond Meat. This stuff is awesome. And it's not soy protein. It's awesome. If you see it in your grocery store, definitely go check it out. It's like, it's almost like meat crumbles. And it cooks in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. It's done. And then I'll add some black beans to it. And it already has all the spices you need. Then I will take, once it's cooked in 3 minutes, I'll just kind of sprinkle that all over the tortilla chips. And I got a message here. Move that up because I can't see. Okay, there we are. Then I will put some cheese on top, and I'll just put it under the broiler for about 30 seconds because everything's already been cooked in the skillet. Then once it comes out, and it's delicious as is, once it comes out, I'm going to top it with a ton of iceberg lettuce and some green onions. You can do whatever toppings your family likes. And some tomatoes, and 2 of us in our family like jalapenos and red onions. My daughter and I. She's got her mama's taste buds. She likes the heat, she likes the red onions, so that's awesome. But what I'm doing here now is I'm making 2 toppings kits for our nacho night. We're gonna have them Friday night, and we're gonna have them Sunday for lunch. So this one will be for Friday night, and this one will be Sunday for lunch. So convenient to just pull it out. Already have lunch done. You don't have to go out to a restaurant because everybody's starving, you know, and it's time to eat, and everybody's hungry, and what are we gonna have, and nothing's ready, and oh, we have nachos. We just have to heat up the beans and the crumbles, and then you can add your toppings. So delicious. I also like to add, let's see, I'm almost done grocery shopping here. Look, if you can see, I'm almost done. I also like to add some green onions on top. Delicious. So I'll make one big, huge tray, and then I'll just use like a spatula or something to just scoop it up and put servings on plates. And that's that, guys. I've got all these meals good to go for the week. And that way we're saving money, we're saving time, we're saving sanity because we're not all screaming at each other, starving on the weekends, right? So there we go. We have got some coconut curry over here. We've got some nacho night. We've got some tortilla soup, some stuffed peppers, lentil stew, and oh, that's done. We're already done. So I'm just gonna go pop these in the fridge, pop the extras in the freezer, clean up my mess I've got. I do have a massive mess going on. That's the only downside. However, it's not really a total downside because I'm not destroying my kitchen 5 nights a week. I'm destroying my kitchen on Meal Prep Monday. And it's a big mess and it's a lot of cleanup, but I'm not gonna have to do it tomorrow night or the next night or the next night or the next night. I'm just going to pull one of my bags out, pop it in the Instant Pot, and we've got dinner ready. We're good to go. So if you have a friend or you know someone who is a new parent, hello. They are gonna love the meal prepping and what that's gonna do for them. A newlywed or just anyone who could benefit from some extra time, anyone who's maybe struggling with meal planning and meal prepping, or maybe someone who wants to learn more about vegetarian meals, go ahead and tag them here or add this to your wall so you can come back and watch. And I will add my link to where to get the bag holders because these are awesome. And if you listen closely enough, you can hear my kids because they're home from school today. They're going wild right now. All right, so we're good to go. Thank you guys for hanging out. And if you have any questions, just leave them below. And I have a comment. Hey, Allison, thanks for coming in. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you for coming in. And I will see you guys next Monday. Okay, bye guys.